Right. So last time we were talking about the white blood cells, right? We have discussed into detail your friend neutrophil, how it works, right? Today we will talk about the remaining two granulocytes, which are the functions of eosinophils and basophils. Let's first of all talk about the eosinophils, right? Eosinophils, already you know, are the white cells which have granules, specific granules of which color? Yeah. The very special thing about the eosinophils is that they have bilobed nucleus, right? I always feel somehow eosinophils are having some sort of glasses, I think, right? They are looking around, and eosinophils have bilobed nucleus, and they are having specific granules, and these granules are taking which color, please? Red color. And but what we call the red color? Acidic color, or eosin simply, right? So acidophilic granules, because they love the acidic colors, or acidophilic granules. So eosinophils are the white blood cells which have large granules which take the eosinophilic dyes or acidic dyes, right? And eosinophil normal number is somewhere between 1 to 6% of all white blood cells. Is that right? And about the granules, what are the different substances present in these granules, the eosinophilic granules, right? What type of substances they have in? Yes, who will tell me? Number one, these granules are very rich in, yes, eosinophilic, yes, eosinophilic basic proteins, right? Eosinophilic basic proteins, number one. Number two, they are having eosinophilic cationic protein. Eosinophilic cationic proteins. Number three, these granules are having eosinophilic peroxidases. Peroxidases. And these three products are very dangerous for parasites and protozoan, right? So protozoans and parasites. These products are cytotoxic. Cytotoxic means they kill the cells. Cytotoxic to protozoans and helminths, right? Now you can understand that eosinophils play a major role in killing protozoans and helminths, right? And anyone who is heavily infested with the parasites in the blood of this person, eosinophil number will go up, right? And if you are heavily loaded with parasites or protozoans, then your eosinophil number will be more than 6%. And if your eosinophil number is more than 6%, we say in the blood you have eosinophilia, right? Then another special product which is present in these granules, specific granule, is eosinophils derived neurotoxin. That is eosinophil derived neurotoxins. This substance can produce a dysfunction in Helmint's Helmint's nervous system, but not protozoan, because Helminths have, these are multicellular parasites, they have nervous system, right? And eosinophils produce special neurotoxins which paralyze or produce dysfunction in Helminth's nervous system, right? Then something very interesting, that eosinophils have special type of two product. Okay, let me draw eosinophil for you, right? What is the shape of the nucleus? Bilobed. Is that right? Number one. And what is the color taken by the granules? red, right? Red color is given by which type of dye? Eosin, which is basically acidic dye, right? Now, another thing, okay, let's make it a happy eosinophil. Right? It's a happy eosinophil because you are learning about it. Right now it's center of attention. Fine. Now, these eosinophils have two more special products, right? And those special products, yeah, what are those special products by eosinophils? You have to remember them. Who will tell me? Those special two products, they help the eosinophil to relax, yes, to reduce the inflammatory response. Actually, eosinophils have a capability to produce histaminases. I think they produce like this. Histaminases. Histaminase is a group of enzymes which can break down, yes please, they can break down histamine, right? And if the eosinophils are producing the product like histaminases which can break down the histamine, right, then it means that the focus of injury acetylcholine level will go down. And histamine mediate many steps of inflammation. Histamine is vasodilator. Histamine activate the endothelial cell, right? It make the endothelial cell more adhesive to the white cells. So because histamine produced by the mast cells classically enhances the inflammation, and your friend Xenophiles produces histaminases, so it means it breaks down the histamine. It means it increases the inflammation or decreases the inflammation? It decreases the inflammation. That's very good. So it decreases. So you can say when the Xenophiles infiltrate into tissue, they release their histaminases, and in inflammatory area, histamine's concentration go down and inflammation is toned down or reduced. Secondly, they produce one more substance, and that is called aryl sulphatases. Aryl sulphatases. Aryl sulphatases actually break down leukotrienes. They break down leukotrienes, and histaminases break down histamine. Right? So it means the very important two functions that it aryl sulphatases break down leukotrienes. Leukotrienes are the product produced at the site of injury, right? And especially leukotriene B4 is producing attraction for the neutrophils. Leukotrienes, I think spelling should be, in the books it is written leukotrienes, but I think it should be leukotrienes because these substances produce the trains of the leukocyte. When you put in any tissue some leukotrienes, then from the blood vessels, nearby blood vessels, leukocytes come out and like trains, they start moving towards the leukotrienes. Is that right? So leukotrienes have two important functions. Number one, they are chemotactic agent for neutrophils, especially leukotriene B4, and there are leukotriene C4 and D4 which activate the endothelial cells and produce spasticity of bronchial smooth muscle. Leukotrienes are produced in high concentration in allergic reactions, because histamines and leukotrienes are product of the mast cells which are activated during allergic reactions, right? But once eosinophils come, through histaminase release, they destroy the histamine, and through aryl sulphatases release, they destroy the leukotrienes. In this way, when histamine is destroyed, many vascular events are reduced in the inflammatory side. And when leukotrienes are destroyed, endothelial activation is reduced, as well as leukocyte infiltration into tissue is reduced. Am I clear? Any problem up to this? There's really no problem? Right. Then, okay. Yeah. This eosinophil, it is having some I think, napkin in its hand to remind you something. Right? Napkin. N-A-A-P-C-A-N. I think Xenophil doesn't know what are the proper spellings of napkin. Is that right? So, Eosinophils having napkin, right? And dancing around with red face and black googles. Is that right? And having special type of ears, right? And 2 napkins. Why putting 2 napkins? To remind you something about the napkins. Yeah, napkin. N-A-A, yes, P-C-A-N. Actually, N stands for neoplasia. In some neoplasia, eosinophils concentration in the blood increases. Actually, napkin should remind you what are the circumstances in which eosinophilia is produced. What are the situations or pathological situations in which in your body eosinophils level goes up, right? Now, N stands for neoplasia, A for allergy. In many allergic reactions, especially type 1 hypersensitivity reactions, eosinophils go up. Then another A, especially asthma. Of course, it's one of maybe due to allergy. So some patients with special type of neoplasia, they have eosinophilia. Some people with allergic reactions have eosinophilia. Some people with asthma have eosinophilia. And P should remind you. Yes, P should remind you. Parasites. That's good. So parasitic infestation, parasites, that also produces what? Xenophilia. And C should remind you collagen vascular diseases, which you will study in pathology. Vascular diseases. These are special type of autoimmune diseases, and some of the collagen vascular diseases have eosinophilia in the patient. Right? After that, what is there? Neoplasia, allergic reactions, asthma, parasites, collagen vascular diseases, and A for what? And N for what? For repetition. A again for allergy to remind you. And N again for neoplasia. So you have to remember it. That these are 2 very important situations in which eosinophilia is there. Right? If you forget that, just remember that eosinophils try to remind you by napkins. And then you must know that spellings of the napkins, eosinophil is a bit weird about it. Is that right? Am I clear? So again, let's revise it. Eosinophil, the granulocyte with what type of granules? Eosinophilic granules. What type of nucleus? Bilobed nucleus. And neutrophil were having what type of nucleus? Multi-lobated nucleus, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5 lobes of the nucleus in case of neutrophil, right? So we can compare also okay, these are 5 white cells. Let's differentiate them with the nuclei. Neutrophil have multi-lobated nucleus, is that right? Eosinophil has classically bilobed nucleus. And what is it? Basophils have S-shaped nucleus. And then we come to kidney-shaped nucleus of monocytes and very big nucleus of lymphocytes. And some lymphocytes can convert into a cell which has a cartwheel-shaped nucleus. What is this cell? Plasma cell, which is an active B cell producing antibodies. Alright? So it's clear how you differentiate the white cells just by nuclear morphology, but of course more wise that you try to differentiate them with nuclear morphology plus with their granules. The neutrophils have granules, specific and non-specific both. Remember, all of the white cells have non-specific granules, lysosomes. But specific granules are only in granulocyte. Non-specific granules are present in all of them. And here the specific granule here are in neutrophil. What stain is taken by the granules? Some take blue color, some take red color. And in case of eosinophils, Granules take red color. In case of basophils, they take blue color. Basic dyes, right? And then very important function of eosinophil is that it reduces inflammatory reaction in the tissues where they go by producing histaminases and aryl sulphatases. Histaminases reduces the histamine concentration there. Aryl sulphatases reduces the leukotrienes there, right? Moreover, under what circumstances eosinophils are very high in the blood? That is neoplastic, some of the neoplasias, type 1 type of allergies, asthma, parasitic infestations, collagen vascular diseases, and just to stress again, allergic and neoplastic conditions. Any question up to there? There is no question.